之前说到，好像只要是在当地比赛的时候，阳光比较亮的情况下呢，在太阳队这2场主场都打得相当不错。
这跟命名有关系。太阳队啊，
那画面上看到 Doug Collins， 当然他最近已经是接受了76人队的这个邀约。
What is the mentality of the Suns? Are they deflated or encouraged by coming back from that 18-point deficit and having a shot to pull out the game?
Well, Mark, just listening to Steve Nash, he said, we're not going to waste any more energy on Game 5. We think there's a lot of positives to draw out of that to come into Game 6. First of all, the comeback. More importantly, it was their best defensive effort in the series so far. They feel very good win tonight, force a Game 7.
All right, both teams on the court just about set to go as we check out the Taco Bell. Starting lineup for the Lakers up front, Pau Gasol, along with Game 5 heroes / almost GOAT Ron Artest. Andrew Bynum still struggling with that injured right knee. Magnificent Game 5 for the backcourt of Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant. Suns go with the front line of Amari Stoudemire, Grant Hill, Robin Lopez. At the guards, Jason Richardson and Steve Nash, who comes off his best game of the series. And there's Amari Stoudemire, and the Suns, Doug, are hoping for a Game 3 type performance from Amari.
Well, he was aggressive early, Marv. Remember that game he attacked early, got to the foul line. I think he shot 7 free throws in the first quarter. He can't have a 19-4 night with no assists and 4 turnovers. He's going to have to play a brilliant game tonight to match up against Gasol, Odom, and Bynum on that front line.
The officiating crew, Scott Foster, Bill Kennedy, Greg Willard, the alternate Bill Spoot, and the Lakers control the opening tip. Artest gets it down low to Bynum. Backs his way.
What you're going to see from the Suns is they play early man-to-man. They did that the other night about the first 7 minutes. Actually did a pretty good job of it. But then you see a lot of zone. So we'll see how quickly Alvin Gentry goes back into that zone.
Robin Lopez very quiet the last couple of games after having a couple of outstanding performances coming back from the back injury. Nash with a rainbow. Whoa!
That's those shades of Game 5 when the Lakers did all the switching with their big man. That time it was Bynum, and I mean, what a shot by Steve Nash.
Phoenix during the regular season 32-9 here at home, and since the All-Star break, including playoffs, they have won 20 of their last 23 games here at home. Gasol is way off, and it's handled by Stoudemire. Hill fighting, Stoudemire wide open, takes to the rim. Alvin Gentry wants to see Amari attacking the rim at the start.
And actually, he had a 15-footer that time that he taken, so you can see what his frame of mind is.
Bryant.
Well, Kobe Bryant, the last 2 first quarters, has only attempted 3 shots. 1 of 3. He's done most of his heavy lifting in the second and third quarters. Let's see what he does here early.
And Kobe playing a lot of minutes throughout this series, averaging about 43 minutes a game. As compared to the regular season, that's a defensive 3-second violation.
Well, Kobe Bryant pulling up over the top of Grant Hill, and Alvin Gentry has said all series long, do not be discouraged when Kobe Bryant makes jump shots. Keep him off the free throw line, keep him out of the paint, and they have done a good job of that since they've gone to their zone.
Steve Nash, the NBA's best free throw shooter, able to knock down that technical.
Well, Mark, that's what I was talking about. Look at his first quarter, the last 2 games. Look at the middle quarters, 52 points where all the shot attempts came. And then in the fourth quarter has been relatively quiet as well as Artest with the steal.
He saw that coming. Artest with the stuff. And he thought he was fouled. Suns try to take advantage with a 5-on-4. Hill play. Knocks down a 3.
I think they're going to call a foul on Bynum after the shot as well. So going to get the 3-point play, the shot, excuse me, and a chance for the 4-point play.
And the Suns were able to benefit from a 4-point play the other night. It was Jared Dudley who hit a 3 and then was hacked.
And that was in that stretch, Marv, when they were down 18. You talked about a little over 3-something to go in that third quarter. They hit a three-pointer and a four-point play, 16-4 run to end that quarter to cut it to 6, and then the frantic finish.
Grant Hill, who shot the ball well from three-point range during the regular season, has not in the playoffs prior to that three-point shot. Just 2 for 14 from downtown. Bynum off the double. It counts, and the foul.
Well, Andrew Bynum, much more active tonight. He and Robin Lopez both played very poorly the other night in Game 5. Bynum was 0 of 5 in that game. Did have 5 offensive rebounds, but only 2 points. So he's gone to work here early tonight. Much more aggressive. He has 2 field goals, going to go to the line. So after only 2 points here tonight, he already has 4 points here to start this game. And this is not a good sign, not cleaning up the boards for the Phoenix Suns.
Gasol around Stoudemire, and he's fouled. Nice move. Lopez came over to help. And Pau Gasol, who started out this series on fire and has dropped off the last couple of games, will go to the line.
That zone has really taken a lot of his game away, Marv Gasol, especially in that fourth quarter when they really went to him in the first 2 games and he really delivered. Channing Frye is going to get an early entrance here tonight, coming off a very good game the other night. We had 14 points in the second half, more importantly 10 rebounds.
Robin Lopez called for his second foul, so Frye checks in. Channing able to get that shot going after missing his first 17 attempts the first 3 games. Then game 4, hit 4 of 8, all from downtown, 14.6 rebounds, and also did a nice job in game 5. And as you mentioned, also has been rebounding the ball the last couple of games.
Well, that's critical. Against this Laker team, Marv, they gave up 19 offensive rebounds the other night, and this is a big shot for Frye. Some mix up there. Nobody got to him. He comes into the game. The Lakers don't communicate. He walks right into an early three-point shot.
Suns with a 1-point lead. Artest for 3. And the Lakers up 12-10.
And you can see with Channing Frye coming into the game, Alvin Gentry goes right into the zone defense, and the guy who's going to get shots is Ron Artest. And you see when Odom comes in, he will have those shots. They want to make sure they know where Kobe and Fisher are at all times in that zone.
Nash directing traffic. Cleared Frye to the corner. Stoudemire sets the high pick. Shot clock down to 7. Good job by Bryant, and then Hill spins away. What a move by Grant Hill.
I think Kobe Bryant thought one of his big guys was going to come over on that baseline because Kobe sort of shadowed him in that direction. Late help on the defense. Nice play by Grant Hill.
Gasol with the pass down low, and again it's Artest. Fast start for Artest. He's hit his first 3 shots. He has 7 points. Richardson draws the foul. It's on Fisher.
Marv, this is what I was talking about a while ago. Both big guys go to Amari. Nobody's communicating. Frye had just come in off that free throw, and nobody gets to him. You do not want a guy like Channing Frye getting that kind of look to start the game. You'd like them to miss a few if you're a Laker or a Laker fan, and hear these crowds start getting a little nervous. They know tonight they lose, the season's over.
Jason Richardson, game 5, 12 points, including that 3-point shot off glass to tie the game. Gary Vitti, the Lakers athletic trainer, checking out a cut suffered by Kobe Bryant. Nice spin move by Hill, and you see Kobe trying to take care of business by himself.
Remember that the other night in game 5, Kobe picked up 2 quick fouls and set in that quarter some minutes, and then Phil Jackson came right back with him at the 5:18 mark. Thought the Suns, Marv, the other night on the road got off to a great start, but then Derek Fisher went to work, had the big first quarter. He had 11, and then Kobe had 13 in the second quarter. So those 2 guys were brilliant the other night. They combined for 52 points, 13 assists, and only 3 turnovers. Expect those guys under pressure tonight to be the cool customers for the Lakers.
The downside the other night for Jason Richardson was not blocking out Ron Artest on that last-second attempt by Bryant, allowing Artest to get to it. But all his teammates very encouraging to Richardson. This is a very close Phoenix Suns team.
Yeah, and Jason Richardson knew he made a mistake. You know, he talked about it to Craig Sager yesterday. He said, nobody's harder on me than me. But those are the attention to detail plays, Mark, that you have to make in a game like that. You've got the momentum. You get that thing into overtime. You don't know what happens.
So already here in the early moments, we've had 4 ties, 4 lead changes. Even at 14, Bryant pops one home and a foul. He saw that the foul was about to take place. He was able to get it off. He's still checking that finger. And Kobe heads to the line.
What a shot by Kobe Bryant. As Grant Hill was coming over, Kobe slid sideways and got bumped. And already Kobe Bryant has more field goals than he did in both first quarters of the last 2 games. Lakers off to a very good start here offensively tonight, Mark. Shooting the ball well, and it's like Kobe's trying to get that blood off his finger so they don't have to take him out of the game.
But the question is, can he take the free throw? Well, apparently he was able to rub the blood on his shorts. He might have to leave.
Yeah, he's going to come out right now, and if he has blood on his shorts, he'll have to change his shorts or whatever.
He's replaced by Shannon Brown, and now Harry Vitti will go to work.
Shannon Brown has not played well since the first 2 games in L.A. He and Jordan Farmar were playing together. That mix has not worked well, and then the other night they brought in Sasha Vujacic to play with Farmer, and that worked very well for the Lakers.
Richardson for 3. Yes. He has the great touch from the angle right on the left wing, and he's tied the game at 17.
Now, he comes right into the game, Shannon Brown, and lets Richardson walk right into a 3, a lot like Channing Frye did on a substitution.
Suns have opened up hitting their first 3 3-point attempts. They led the league in 3-point shooting. Shot clock down to 5. Artest out deep. Artest fires, comes up short. Hill off to the good start. Had the mismatch with Fisher. Hill posting. Hill. Oh, Richardson thought he was pushed by Brown. In fact, landed in the first row.
This is not a good shooting Laker team that's on the floor right now. Fisher takes up a little space and knocks in the 2, but with Artest and Shannon Brown on the floor right now, the Suns could really concentrate on trying to keep them out behind that 3-point line.
And as you mentioned, Fisher did have that huge game 5, saved the Lakers in the first quarter, had that burst at the end of the game. Small move by Richardson going right at Artest.
Well, he's that X factor. When he plays well and puts up big numbers, they usually do not lose. And Phil Jackson knows that. He is not happy that Jason Richardson's gotten off to a good start tonight. He has 7, has not missed a shot. Perfect from the field, perfect from the line. Shannon Brown comes in. Jason Richardson with a wide open 3. And then he drives the ball to the basket. The nice finish with the left hand. And the Suns off to a nice start here offensively.
Nice start. This is good. Back in Phoenix, time for Cold Hard Facts presented by Coors Light. Doug, your keys for tonight.
Well, they got to hit the boards, Mark. Rebounding and 19 offensive rebounds in Game 5. They cannot give up that many second chance opportunities. The turnover story, they've done a great job. The 2 wins here. You can see under 8 a game. More importantly, there were no points off those turnovers. Pace of the game, the first 12 seconds of the shot clock. The other night, the Phoenix Suns in the first 12 seconds had 80 points shot, 51%. Only 21 points when that clock got against them. And then Amari tonight must have a big night, Mark. We talked about it earlier. Can't be a 19-4, no assists, 4 turnover game. He's got to have one of those 30-point, 12 or 13 rebound, be a factor on both ends of the floor, and help lead his team to a Game 7.
Game 3 exploded for 42 points, 11 rebounds, 18 trips to the line. He had 14 of 18. First time in the series that the Suns have shot the ball well early. Kobe Bryant back on the floor. Lamar Odom has checked in. Here is Kobe. That's a 3 for Bryant.
Guess that finger's okay. Gary Vitti doing the magic, getting that blood stopped, and boy, both teams coming out firing here tonight. Marv, 82% for the Lakers, 76% for the Suns.
Stoudemire putting a move on Odom, kicks it out. Richardson. That was a three-point attempt, kicked alive by Hill. Here's Nash, passing on a 3, and then is able to get back behind the line and knocks it down.
That's what offensive rebounds will do, Marv. I feel like you get the best three-point shots off of offensive rebounds because guys aren't matched up.
Halfway through this first quarter, the game tied at 22. Bryant again for 3, and that is way off. Well, Kobe hears it from this crowd.
I don't think that's going to bother Kobe, do you?
In fact, I believe we'll see some motivation out of that. Odom comes over to help on the double. Here's Richardson. Draws the foul. A strong move by Jason Richardson. A lot of people forget this is the guy who won the slam dunk contest twice. And in his earlier days in the NBA, that was a major part of his game.
You can see it's interesting, Marv, what's happening here. They're going to Amari Stoudemire in that area he likes to attack. And the Lakers are flooding the area. And the Suns are finding the open man in the corner. It's Jason Richardson. They've done that twice now. So the Lakers are getting hurt on that play. Amari's not scoring, but he's finding the open man.
Richardson, a 74% free throw shooter. Incidentally, I'd like to report that Alvin Gentry, the head coach of the Suns, is feeling much better tonight after going through that upset stomach during Game 5 in LA, utilizing a small waste paper basket at the team bench to take care of business. Did remain on the bench in an IV treatment at halftime. Said it was a grilled artichoke. That's a foul as Fisher run into from three-point territory. Will head to the line. The foul on Hill, that is his second. Incidentally, we could not get the information on the restaurant out of Alvin Gentry. Would not reveal where it all took place.
Well, he told the media it was an artichoke. He told me before the game that you and I got him upset before the game.
Very possible.
Nauseated him a little bit. So we've been known to do that to coaches around the NBA.
Check out TNT Overtime live now on NBA.com to watch exclusive player follow cameras of Suns and Lakers. TNT Overtime only on NBA.com. Jared Dudley checking in.
We'll have to keep our eye on the matchups tonight. Phil Jackson likes Vujacic coming in against Dragic, but he said tonight he might use Vujacic against Dudley because he feels like Vujacic gives him another shooter on the floor. So as this game goes on, you start finding out coaches and what they feel like they can do. Vujacic got himself back into the good graces of Phil Jackson the night when he came in. He actually was one of the few guys that played well off the bench.
He was in the Phil doghouse earlier in the season, then played better till the end of the year. We talked about the rivalry between Goran Dragic and Sasha Vujacic. So Derek Fisher knocks down all three, and the Lakers now lead at 25-23. Stoudemire putting a move on Gasol, way off.
Nice job by that time. Gasol gets on his right hand and really forced a very difficult shot.
Artest on the fadeaway. How about Ron Artest? What a start. 4 of 5, 9 points. How about Ron Artest yesterday, late for practice as Nash was able to hit on the scoop. After he came up with that game winner, he showed up 45 minutes late, and that was an automatic fine.
Now, Phil said he got so excited that he misread the board on the time. I don't know if I believe that or not, but Artest is firing tonight.
Phil being very kind.
Yes, I think so. Funny what a game winner will do to a coach's soul, isn't it?
Dudley on a step back for 3. Good hustle by Richardson and fouled by Fisher. for Derek, his second. And for more on Ron Artest, here's Craig Sager.
Well, Marv, I talked to Ron, and he said, well, here's what happened. I was so geeked up after the game, all I saw on the board, it said airport, 3 o'clock. He said I didn't look below where it said something about practice. So he actually didn't even go to practice. They had to call him and say, hey, come on over here. We are practicing today.
Now, as the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, I know you would buy that immediately.
And, you know, you win a game for me like that, I'll look the other way, Marv. You know, it's just sort of what you do, you know?
Coming up on 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Fry, yes! That's a two-pointer for Channing Fry, and a nice move to his left to go to the pull-up.
Yeah, instead of that pump fake and shooting a contested three, took a nice dribble, and Phil Jackson's going to talk about it. But a very good start here tonight for both teams on the offensive end. 4 of 6 from the Suns from 3, 2 of 4 for the Lakers. And a very important sign for Channing Fry, because he and Jared Dudley both are big parts of this team. See, Odom runs out at him. That's a very difficult shot. The one bounce left in the pull-up. There it is, Marv, that quick release. And again, there's no hesitation. I thought the other night when he had to take a quick shot at the end of the clock, it went in. It helped him because it freed him up. He stopped hesitating. And you can see what they did in the second half, the bench. He and Dudley had 22 of those 29, and they were in that big part of that third quarter when they made the run to cut it from 18 to 6.
Phoenix bench so instrumental in the victory here in game number 4. It played so well that Alvin Gentry had them on the floor the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter.
And, you know, this team, you know, a lot of teams, Marv, would, you talk about the closeness, but a lot of times stars sit out on some teams and the bench is going well and they're looking at the coach and going, when I'm going back in. Actually, a couple guys from the Phoenix Suns were about ready to check in. Guys hit shots and they looked over at Alvin like, do you want me to go in or do you want me to come back to the bench? And he said, come back to the bench. So, and they got a great feel for each other.
Channing Fry heating up, and Robin Lopez was sent to the scorer's table. He looked over at the coaching staff, said, no, I'm coming back. You do not see that very often.
Not at all.
Good job by Stoudemire. And a travel on Bryant. Stoudemire with the block, and then Bryant called for steps. Farmar has checked in. Gasol jumping out at Nash. We saw a lot of that in the fourth quarter. The other night, and Nash was able to hit those rainbow shots over Pau Gasol. Nash with the spin, lost it. Shot clock running down. Stoudemire is on it, and he got bailed out. He was fouled by Farmar.
And he got bailed out because Farmar went down on the floor, and Amari reached for that loose ball. We saw that in a game against Orlando with Jason Williams and Rondo. You got to go down and pick this ball up. I mean, very fortunate that that ball did not knock loose and Farmar be able to get a layup on the other end. These are those 50-50 balls, and in a game like this, you have to come up with all those plays.
Lakers over the limit. Stoudemire to the line. The danger there for Phoenix could have been a backcourt violation eventually because Stoudemire was on the floor, or a rough shot with the shot clock down at 4.
We talked about his free throw attempts. He had 18 free throw attempts in that game 3 when he was aggressive early the entire game. Look at his rebounding, and in this series he's averaging under 7 rebounds a game, and tonight he has got to have double-figure rebounds.
6 straight points by the Suns, and they've taken a 2-point lead. Farmar guarded by Dudley. Odom rejected. Stoudemire with the block. That's his second. Nash on the run. Finds Dudley. Plays the layup. Odom. Farmar gives it to Artest and hits the 3. What Artest saying the other day, you know, they're disrespecting me. They give me these open shots, and it's going to come back and haunt them. And then Phil Jackson, his coach, said, you know, we used to do the same to you. It's right. Understandable. They don't trust you can hit those shots.
Last year when he played for the Houston Rockets, that's the way we played you, he said.
Nash for 3. Back comes Farmar. And Gasol was fouled. Quite a bit of contact. First it was Nash and Gasol. And then Gasol was hit down from behind. Foul committed by Nash. Timeout as we approach 2 minutes to play in this action-packed first quarter.
Welcome back to Phoenix, where we have a one-point game. Lakers center Andrew Bynum has persuaded athletic trainer Gary Vitti to remove the anti-lock extension from his right knee brace. Now Bynum is playing with that torn anterior horn of the lateral meniscus. It's in the space right here. What happens with the injury, it's causing swelling. But he wears a knee brace because last year he tore the medial collateral ligament of the same knee. Now what happens is the brace causes compression. The latest injury creates swelling. As a result, we have a major conflict between the two, and Andrew Bynum says that he wants to delay surgery until after the playoffs, but there's a growing concern that that knee may not hold up. Mark?
Well explained by Dr. Sager, bringing props. You know, that third-grade show and tell experience has really helped him.
Can you imagine Sags when he was in grade school? I bet he couldn't sit in his chair. The poor teacher. I can't even imagine.
You know, he's doing it right over near the Laker bench explaining things, and they're looking at him like he's nuts.
Let me ask you a question. You think Phil Jackson, when he interviews him at the end of the first quarter, is going to ask Sags about the skeleton?
I don't know if Phil was concentrating on that. I saw that the players were. The Lakers up by 3, coming up on 2 minutes to play in this first quarter, and Stoudemire is fouled by Gasol. Larry Stoudemire will head to the line. Here's a programming reminder, a new season and a new reason to get more leverage. The Leverage 2-hour season premiere event Sunday, June 20th at 9, 8 Central, only on TNT.
Larry Stoudemire being more aggressive. That time he went away from where the Lakers were helping. You see Odom in that situation on the weak side. He's stepping up. He's going to help in the lane. And Pau Gasol let him get with his left hand. And when he did, there was no help. And Amari did the smart thing. He jumped in and got the foul. Amari's already shot 4 free throws here in this first period.
Gavin Brown, Jordan Falmar in the backcourt with Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, and Lamar Odom up for, oh, what a play. Stoudemire one-handed that interception.
He's had a block, a steal, so he's doing a good job on the defensive end. Kobe very upset. That was a very careless play by Kobe Bryant.
Suns offense stopping down to 4 seconds. Nash. Fry. It's too late. It's a 24-second violation.
Well, we always talk about, Mark, we talk about this whole series, when they get against that shot clock, especially the last 12 seconds, good things don't happen. Farmar has not done as good a job on Nash as Fisher. But early in this game, he's stepped out and done a good job here.
Farmar for 3.
I tell you, if he starts making shots along with Ron Artest, it's going to be a long night for the Suns, because you know Gasol and Bryant are eventually going to get their points.
Lakers 4 of 6 from three-point territory. Stoudemire. Now the question is, it is a blocking foul. The ball went in. It was Stoudemire's hand that hit the ball in the netting. It looked like it was going to drop. And the basket does count.
How about this little handoff that they run? I mean, they do this 2 or 3 times a game. Nice job by Amari Stoudemire. He did get his hand up underneath the net. It's his first field goal of the night. More importantly, that's another foul on Pau Gasol. So is that Pau Gasol's second foul of the game? So now you come in with Andrew Bynum. We've already talked to Greg Sager about that knee. We'll keep our eye on him tonight to see how he's moving after he has gone to the bench for a few minutes.
So both teams are over the foul limit. Gordon Dragic has just checked in, coming on for Steve Nash. There's a question about the lineup on the left side of the lane. Channing Frye feeling he's being squeezed in. Should there be a rebound?
He was upset because Kobe Bryant kept putting his hand on him. He kept trying to knock it away, and it disconcerted the free throw shooter. They're going to call a lane violation here on the Lakers. So these are mental mistakes, Marv, that can cost you in a very close game. You know, the other night was a 2-point game. Steve Nash missed a couple free throws. You see Odom steps in too soon, and in a game like this, every point is so important.
Bill Kennedy was right on the scene to make the call to the right of Odom, and it does cost a point.
Well, Amari Stoudemire, Marv, early in the playoffs was shooting 80+% from the free throw line. In this series, has been shooting 68%. A lot of points at that free throw line with misses.
Bryant trying to draw the foul. 3-point Laker lead. Both clubs shooting well in this high-scoring first quarter. Here's Stoudemire slipping around. Bynum. Last touched by Stoudemire.
Now, you might say, why is Bynum guarding Amari Stoudemire and not Odom? Because Phil likes him on him because he feels like that Odom is a better help defender. Bynum with that lateral movement can't get over and get the help, so he'd rather have him on Amari to start.
Bynum trying to back his way on Frye. Suns can hold for a final shot of the Frye wasting no time, pops it up, and the opening kept alive by Dragic, and he lost it. Final seconds of the quarter. Bryant looking to draw the foul, could not. Played well by Frye, and Frye is saying, my fault. Alvin Gentry taking a look, wondering why he took that shot at that point.
Well, you know, there's a fine line there with Channing Frye. You don't want to discourage him, but at the same thing, it's a little bit like Ron Artest the other night. You want to use the clock in that situation. Very fortunate that they did not get a play here by Kobe Bryant in the score.
Both clubs shooting well in the first. Lakers 13 of 21, Suns 10 of 19.
Welcome back to the Phoenix, where the score is 37-34. It's time for the Lincoln Coach's Corner. I'm here with Phil Jackson. And Coach, that's a lot of points. Is that a pace that you like?
No, it's pretty ragged out here. It's pretty ragged. There's very excitable teams. Excitable refs, I think, tonight, too. But, yeah, we got a lot of guys in foul trouble, a lot of foul shots. And so far, it's a pretty exciting game.
Kobe Bryant's all over the place, already in double-digit scoring. He's had a lane violation, a cut finger, a couple of turnovers. How do you like his activity?
He's been indecisive a couple times, but, you know, he's got that aggressive look at him.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Craig, in that ragged first quarter, according to Phil Jackson, the Lakers had their highest scoring quarter in this year's playoffs with 37 points. It's their high for a first quarter. And Kobe Bryant off to the good start with 10 points. First quarters of the last two games had a total of 2 points. Suns going with their bench as the second quarter gets underway and the shot clock is running down. Now to 2. Barbosa, can he get it off? He does. Rebounded by Bynum.
Very good rotation that time by the Lakers. It's a very good three-point shooting group the Suns have on the floor. Lakers very aware of that, running at those three-point shooters, making very difficult long two-point shots.
Sasha Vujacic, who just checked in, able to connect with a three-pointer. He played very well the other night in LA. Here is Dudley. Dudley with a three to Max Vujacic.
That's what I was talking about, the three-point shooting. This second unit, energy, hustle, three-point shooting is their identity.
And that's exactly what they did. Game 4 here in Phoenix to tie the series. Odom. Robinson came up with it, but Bynum, he missed the chippy, and it's rebounded by Frye. Foul is called, a loose ball foul on Odom.
You can see there, Bynum normally, if he's healthy, catches that ball and dunks it. And you could see he was such in a hurry, he really never got his hands on the ball cleanly. Sort of squirted it up there at the basket. But got to keep our eye on this Vujacic-Dragic matchup now. This is the first time they've been against each other in this game. Remember the other night, Vujacic really got him out of sync.
Here is Amundsen. Oh, he banked it home. Louis Amundsen crowd loves his activity. Game 5 did not make his usual impact, but Game 4 he was terrific. 7 points, 7 rebounds. Farmar on the hop to Odom. Nicely done.
You're seeing more dribble penetration. You saw that the other night in the game. I thought that the Lakers did a much better job driving into gaps of that zone rather than just passing the ball around the perimeter.
Dragic not able to hit. Handled by Farmar. Farmar and Vujicic in the backcourt. Artest with Odom and Bynum up front. Vujicic. Here comes Dragic. Dragic all the way. Run at Artest. Goran Dragic brings the Suns within 1.
I think you saw some strength from Dragic that too. When you run into Ron Artest like that and you put him on his heels, you got to have a little strength.
Artest bottled up by Fry and then doubly knocked it aside. Last touch by Artest. So again, a good defensive effort by the Suns.
I think this is an important play for Dragic the other night. After that game, he missed his first 3 tonight. He's 1 of 11 now from the three-point line. It's nice to drive in there and get an easy one.
Barbosa. Try to bank it. It's snatched by Odom. Knocked away by Amundsen. Farmar trying to settle things down. Just didn't get it across that midcourt line, avoiding the 8-second count. Farmar. Pass nearly picked off. Bynum called for the travel.
Just out of sync. This you can just see, not that smooth. Andrew Bynum normally catches that ball, has very good hands, finishes it. So he probably hasn't practiced, and I don't know how long with that knee. They're trying to milk him through this situation. Every time he practices and plays, he gets swelling. And so it's been a tough stretch for this young guy.
Lakers up by 1. Game 6 of the Western Conference Final. We'll be right back.
Points. Too many fouls, too many free throws.
We got to slow them down, though. That's too many points, guys. I'm telling you. 37 is way too many. We put too much pressure on our offense if they got 37.
Sounds like an echo in there, Dennis. Both teams talking about too many points, and I think Alvin Gentry's got a little bit happier, though, in this second quarter. They've got some defensive stops around the basket, forced a couple turnovers.
Doug, with Alvin Gentry going with his bench, he was telling us the other day, talking about his bench when he was your assistant with the Pistons in Detroit, and he said he loved when you use the word synergy, which he now uses to refer to the play of his benches. Amundsen is fouled by Bynum, and his players have been hearing the word synergy for the first time.
Well, you know, it's that word that means obviously the sum of the parts is greater when they are together than they are individually, and really that's what this team is, this second unit. They count on each other, you know, by themselves. They're not, great players, but you put them together and they all bring something unique. And Alvin has found a nice blend with that bench this year, and he's been getting a lot of credit for developing that bench and then using them in the playoffs. A lot of coaches go away from their bench in the playoffs. Now they stop trusting them.
Steve Kerr told me that he now uses that word on a regular basis in Scrabble. All because of you. Amundsen missing on both. So the Lakers with a 42-41 lead. 3.5 gone by here in the second. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Craig Sager were in Phoenix. Vujicic trotting across court. Saw the deflection and the mix-up between Odom and Farmar. So the ball back to the Suns.
See, they're very aggressive. This second unit is very aggressive in that zone. They're very active with their hands. They get a lot of deflections. And see Vujicic up the floor trying to irritate Dragic.
Both guys from Slovenia, but there are not good feelings between the two. Dragic able to hit over Vujicic.
And he's very happy about that, I guarantee you, Dragic. He does not want to hear any more about Vujicic and what he did to him the other night in the game.
9-2 run by the Suns. Vujicic able to elude Dragic to knock it down.
Remember now, Marv, a couple years ago, he was the closer in the finals. Kobe Bryant went to the small forward. He played 2-guard. He come in and play the key minutes in the fourth quarter.
Here's Barbosa with a strong move. Amundsen able to save it. But stepped out of bounds, so the Lakers get it back.
So what will happen is if Vujacic continues to make shots like he is tonight, he's hit a 3, and he's pulled up and hit a long 2, then Phil might use him in place of Artest if he needs him late in the game for some shooting.
The self-proclaimed machine looking to recapture the touch of a couple of years ago. Bynum rejected by Amundsen, but a foul.
You see what they're doing with Bynum? They are getting on his one shoulder and forcing him to go baseline, and Dudley is rotating over. Watch what happens now. They flood the shoulder, send him baseline, and there is Dudley. And Dudley got knocked off balance on that play. Amundsen comes over and gets a nice block on the shot. They must have called that on Channing Frye.
You know, Frye, one of the few NBA players who still will raise his hand. And you tend not to believe a guy when he raises his hand. But it was on Frye. And Channing will depart. Robin Lopez back in. He picked up 2 fouls early.
They need some good play from Robin Lopez. He was very much a factor, Marv, in that third game when Amari had the big game as well as Lopez. He came in that night and had 8 of 10 from the floor. He had 20 points. 12 of those in the paint. So he and Amari that night combined for 62 points.
And in game 1, when he made the return from the injury, 6 of 7 for 14 points. But as you mentioned, the last 2 games very quiet. Lakers up by 3. Lakers trying to wrap this series. Vujacic called for the reach-in while the Suns trying to stay alive and advance to a game 7, which would take place at Staples in LA Monday night, and right here on TNT, 9 o'clock Eastern time, pregame at 8. Vujacic called for the foul, his first. Vujacic picked off by Lopez, able to recover. Stoudemire. Rebounded by Bynum.
Amari Stoudemire only 1 of 5 tonight. That one shot he hit was a difficult 3-point play opportunity. Has not had another field goal.
Oh, Bynum from Odom. Bynum, that time, able to use the size and length. Dragic steps back to 3. Rebounded by Farmar. Kobe wants the ball. It ends up in the hands of Farmar and knocks it down for another 3.
Well, when the role players of the Lakers play well, they're going to be awfully tough to beat. You know, when Shannon Brown, when Farmar, Vujacic, these guys coming off the bench, because you know you're going to get great play from Gasol and Kobe. That X factor is Odom, but all of a sudden now you got Farmar knocking down shots. He's come off the bench here, 2 of 2. He has 6, and the bench has answered the call of the Suns bench, and they lead by 8.
Back in Phoenix, 9-0 run for the Lakers, and they've taken an 8-point lead. Usual sellout crowd on hand. Hey, forget about Shaq, forget about Dwight Howard. That's one-time Superman Dean King. There's Hall of Famer Frank Robinson. Terrific actress Hilary Swank, who we saw out in L.A. Diana Taurasi of the Phoenix Mercury, WNBA. And Senator John McCain and his wife, Cindy.
Now, Marv, you did President Obama, the interview, and now all these politicians are sort of hanging around hoping that you're going to interview them. It's sort of amazing how word filters out.
Yes, it's quite a lineup.
Yes.
You think that's one of your
I think so. That's my guess, and I'm sticking to it. That's what I feel.
Gasol with the block shot. Bryant wide open for 3. Back tap and handled by Hill, who just checked back in along with Nash. Both clubs making changes. Derek Fisher return. Fisher closing the baseline on Hill. Hill tries again and had it deflected away by Fisher. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Marv, I talked to Senator McCain. I asked him if he watched the interview, and he said yes, he did. And he really thoroughly enjoyed the questions. And he just hopes the guy you're interviewing has more time for basketball in a couple of years.
Oh, we knew Segs would be all over that.
But the important thing is he did enjoy the questions. Here's Stoudemire. No one ever said that about me, that they enjoy the questions.
I do. I always enjoy your questions, Marv. I hang on every word, and I try to respond.
Just under 5.5 remaining in this first half. Artest beyond the three-point line, and he has been on fire. 6 of 9. That's his third three. He has 15 points. How's that for a follow-up to what took place the other night? Prior to that game-winning shot, he was only 1 of 8 from the field. This time Artest called on the foul.
Very, very important 5 minutes, I think, here, Marv, for the Phoenix Suns. Crowd starting to get a little edgy here, understanding how important this game is. But I talked about that dribble penetration. You're seeing more of that now. I thought early against the zone in the first few games, the Lakers passed the ball around the perimeter, ended up with a lot of jump shots. They're getting the jump shots, but they're doing more on penetration than they are just passes around the perimeter.
Pushing foul, charged to Bynum. And for Andrew Bynum, that's number 3.
Tough for him to be able to try to get out that far from the floor and try to hedge out on this screen. You see him, he did just a little late, and Nash is so good getting that shoulder around you and then baiting Bynum into that foul.
Doug, it also puts the Lakers over the limit. Phoenix with just 1 team foul. Nash 2 for 2 at the line. Here's Lamar Odom back, coming on for Andrew Bynum. We check out the upcoming national TV schedule. Well, if there is a Western Conference Finals Game 7, we'll have it for you right here on TNT from Staples in LA on Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time start. Pre-game show at 8, game time at 9. And Thursday, next Thursday, June 3rd on ABC, the start of the NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics waiting in the wings.
Congratulations to Doc Rivers, the team and his staff. What a wonderful job they did going through that East. You beat Miami, then you beat Cleveland and Orlando. Not an easy path. They did a wonderful job.
Here's Bryant trying to bank it. And who would have thought that Nate Robinson coming off the bench would be a major factor, although Doc kept saying it after the deal was made that he'll win a game for them. Bryant forcing. Artest not able to hit the follow. Rebounded by Fry. Artest took it away and scores. What a play by Ron Artest.
He is so strong and quick with his hands. You have to protect the ball at all times. That's a very bad play by Channing Frye to give that basket away when you're trying to catch up here playing from behind most the entire first half. You got to be strong. I mean, Ron Artest is going to stay around the ball. He's going to slash. He's going to come from behind. He was a one-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's been an all-league defense on many occasions, and coming off his finest moment the other night, winning that game with that shot, he's picked up his pace here. 17 points.
Here's Hill for 3. The Suns in the midst of a drought. Artest able to get to that loose ball.
The Lakers have done a great job over the last few years closing out the games in Game 6s on the road. They know the importance of this game. They do not want to get to a Game 7.
Gasol blocked by Hill. The Lakers in the midst of a 14-4 run. And an offensive foul on Richardson.
Well, Derek Fisher does as good a job as anybody in the league. He's so strong and powerful, and he puts that body in front of you. If you're not paying attention, running down the court, he's going to step in on you. He's going to get out early, create some contact, and I'll let you get to your sweet spot. Watch what happens here as Jason Richardson tries to step into the post. You get that arm away from your body, chances are they're going to call you for an offensive foul.
Lakers up by 9. Fisher getting it down low. Gasol, and it's put home. Lamar Odom on the follow. Meanwhile, Phoenix has hit only one of its last 6 shots. Fry for 3.
Well, the Phoenix Suns are going to have to do a better job defensively, Marv. There's a little area on the baseline called the short corner, and that's where the Lakers are going, and they're finding Lamar Odom down there, and he's a passer, and he's picking that zone apart right now.
Here's Fisher for 3. Rebounded by Stoudemire. Suns want to close this effectively. Richardson from downtown. Gasol rebounds.
That was not a good shot by Jason Richardson. You don't mind if that's open. That was a contested shot. Phil Jackson's going to take a timeout. He understands the importance. He has a 10-point lead and would like to build on it. Alvin Gentry, on the flip side of that, would like to get some defensive stops and cut into this lead.
2:16 left. First half with the season on the line for the Phoenix Suns.
出来是江湖混了，他也很清楚这行规啊。
好，现在看一下 Grant Hill 刚才一个漂亮的火锅。
Saving block.
其实在内线的防守，现在是我说逼的已经。
Look where he is again in that little area. You play in behind that zone, and you make that inside-out pass. This time he goes for the shot himself. Gasol with the rebound, and then Odom with the tip in. So they're starting to get more comfortable. They're driving better against the zone. They're finding the seams in the zone. 58 points. Marv, remember in the first 2 games of this series, 64 points and what was it, 65 points and 62 points at halftime. They're on that pace here again tonight.
Suns have used the zone for a good portion of this first half. And in those first 2 games, Lakers hit 58% from the field. And tonight at 51, Suns have dropped off, and Gasol able to hit with that driving hook for the 10-point Laker lead.
You look up the numbers. Gasol has 5 points. He has 1 basket, but Artest has 7. He has 17. So he's really taken up the slack when Gasol got in foul trouble.
Stoudemire had no angle. He was cut off by Gasol, and then Bryant called for the deflecting it out of Stoudemire's hand, knocked it out of bounds.
Well, the adjustment by Phil Jackson is he's running a double team over to Maury Stoudemire. That time Kobe came in from behind and tried to get that steal.
Nash able to split his way through, sets it up for Richardson. Yes, that's a 3 for Jason Richardson. Suns 7 of 15 from downtown. The Lakers, not noted for their three-point shooting, have hit 7 of 12 from beyond the three-point line. Odom, he had the opening. It counts on the foul. Uncontested until the last instant.
That's what happens. They now know where they can attack that zone. Now they've got Odom at the top, so they've had him on the baseline. They put him at the top. It felt like that Grant Hill moved over on that play. Maybe he was there at the finish, but they felt like when Lamar Odom took off that Grant Hill had not had his position established.
For Hill, number 3, and Odom will go to the line as Grant Hill heads to the bench, replaced by Jared Dudley. Phoenix Suns, as we touched on earlier, very successful team at home during the regular season, 32-9 since the All-Star break. They've won 20 of the last 23, 14 of the last 15, and that includes postseason play here at home. Shot clock to 5, and that has been trouble for the Suns here in the first half. That pass thrown away. It'll be Laker ball.
See, Marv, though, the strength of Derek Fisher, when Nash tries to drive, he bodies up, and he knocked him off balance. Jordan Farmar might have more foot speed than Fisher. He does not have the strength and does not play the angles as well as Fisher.
45 seconds left, first half. Fisher for three. Rebounded by Fry. Artest back. Nash pulls it up. Way off. And the Phoenix Suns having their difficulties in this second quarter. Coming up, the T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Reggie from right here in Phoenix as they take a look back at this first half of Game 6. Sasha Vujacic checking back in, and he has been a key factor off the bench the last couple of games.
Now, Fisher has 2 fouls. Phil Jackson trying to prevent him from getting that third here, maybe guarding Steve Nash on the last possession.
Bryant digging. Pass knocked aside, recovered by Artest. Bryant from way downtown.
That's unguardable. I mean, he was 8 feet behind the three-point line. I mean, that was ridiculously long.
Final seconds of the half. Nash, Fry, Richardson for 3. Biggest lead of the game. The Lakers up by 12. Phoenix with 8 minutes remaining in this first half had a 43-42 lead. Since then, it's been 23-10 in favor of the Lakers.
Well, when the Lakers are going to be shooting over 50% like they are shooting the three, then the Suns are not getting any defensive stops, Marv. They can't get out and run. Only 2 fast break points for the Suns tonight. So when they're not running and getting